What's up, everybody? Welcome to Waypoint's Media Club, your one-stop shop for all discussions on TV shows, movies, video games, and probably not books, but maybe if you guys pay us. So, unfortunately, our episode 6 episode of WandaVision, our discussion on that, got corrupted. It happens sometimes. It's part of the game. So we are going to give just a quick recap of our opinions on that episode, and then we'll jump right into episode 7. As far as episode 6 goes, I personally really liked it. I think it was a good mix of seeing both in and outside of the Hex. I really enjoyed seeing the kids adapt their powers and the whole... I thought it was interesting that they kind of started going with a cultural decade of it being like kind of late 90s and early 2000s, and not really kind of solidifying that they were one specific decade. What did you guys think about that episode?
Yeah, loved it.
It was good.
Shout out to Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
It's very clearly inspired by Malcolm in the Middle, and I mean, you know, as a '90s child, felt so many fond emotions through that. You had the ska soundtrack, you had the yogurt commercial. I'm all for it.
The talking to the cameras that the kids did, the way Malcolm did, I loved that.
Fabulous.
Mm-hmm. This is the episode where Vision was like being torn apart, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Correct.
That scene I just really enjoyed. Like
incredible.
the looks of that. Yeah.
And then of course the Hex expanded, I think like an extra 8 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Was that number shared?
Well,
I think they said it in future.
They said it in
they
said it in the episode we are about to discuss.
Okay.
Also shout out to the subtle joke, to the not so subtle joke of the fucking all the sword being turned into a literal circus.
Yes.
I just love the idea of Wanda being like, y'all motherfuckers is clowns.
And then I also like the little Kick-Ass reference that the kids made because both Quicksilvers were in Kick-Ass.
Yep.
The commercial, I realized this wasn't in last week's, but I thought of it afterwards. It's the riff when she's in that prison, and the only reason she can't get out is because they put that collar on her. We sat here for half an hour going, "This was the stupidest fucking commercial."
Oh, I liked it. It was terrifying, but I liked it.
So the commercial, I think wasn't necessarily pulling from another moment, but rather, I mean, it's they were very. Again, like blatantly pointing out, is like, hey, survive on your magic. Like your magic. It was like something, and it was a shark, a predator. I was like, something's living off of your magic, and it felt like a message to Wanda this time, which I really.
It also felt like why I thought of the riff is because the riff is in the middle of the fucking ocean, like
I hadn't even thought
just
about
in the
that.
middle of nowhere, and it was use your magic to survive. She couldn't use her magic to get out of the rift because they had that like shock collar or whatever the fuck that thing is.
Inhibitor collar, whatever they call. I know that's what they call it in DC, but
and they bound her hands together.
And they have her hands together, and the kid can't open it. Like he can't use his skills to save himself. I was like, I'm a moron.
I could break the seal.
Yeah, and I didn't consider that because I never thought of her being in the raft as something that traumatic, because Civil War kind of paints it as like they were there for maybe like, I don't know, a weekend before Cap just was like, oh, I'm gonna show you motherfuckers. So maybe it was longer.
A weekend.
What?
You can be traumatized in a weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Look
Except
at Deadpool.
Bachelor's party. Ayo.
All right.
All right.
Episode 7 or 8, however many fucking many episodes. I don't know anymore.
Alrighty, Chris, roll the intro now so we can start episode 7.
Don't
not
hear
picking
it.
it up.
We can't hear it.
Up.
Oh no.
It might be for the better, so I don't get copyright strike.
All right, yeah. Okay, so holy shit. I know we started every episode with that, but like, damn, episode 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Love the Modern Family take.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say I love the Modern Family take.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
when I read the title, which is, by the way, episode 7 is called Breaking the Fourth Wall. I kind of had like this, oh no shit, Sherlock moment of like the reason, obviously, one that most sitcoms from the recent 2000s, whatever you want to call whatever age we're living in, are mockumentaries. But that does make sense that they would replicate that, regardless of the fact that that's just the cultural style now, is that Wanda is now starting to not only break the fourth wall with us as these characters, but like the Hex is coming down at some point. That fourth wall is getting broken. And this is, I think, the first episode where like the plot of the fake sitcom is that intertwined, not only with what's going on in her psyche, but with what's going on around her and with the people outside. So it is all starting to just become one cohesive story.
I feel like that's in part because like she can't really stop it from being that anymore. Like
Yeah.
Whereas before it was all like what she could come up. Well, we can assume what she could come up with in that moment, but now it's just kind of out of her hands. It seems.
I mean,
Yeah.
she was very much like already in previous episodes, kind of starting to lose her grasp on this, and they were very, very clearly pointing out like over each of the episodes that she doesn't really know how it started or where it came from.
Well,
she just found it and decided to perpetuate it, and then I mean, at the end, she makes it bigger, and so it's like it's no surprise that hey, I don't have as much control over it anymore. It's so much larger now.
Oh, what, doubled in size?
Well,
yeah.
So when you see Sword, it says 8 miles outside of Westview. So I imagined that meant the hex now grew 8 miles in diameter.
Yeah, because they were right at the edge of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Leigh'rin.
This to Jordan last night, but I'm going to say it again. When Austin said the rabbit is Mephisto, I agreed with him because I thought it was funny. I swear to God, I will never shut up about it if that's what ends up happening.
So,
So I
here's
actually-
what it is. I've talked about it before. Last time we brought the rabbit, but in the comics, Agatha Harkness has a son. His name is Scratch. The rabbit's
Nicholas
name
Scratch.
is
Senor Scratchy.
Scratchy. Senor Scratchy. And I was like, the son, Mr. Scratch, also the son of Mephisto.
And Mephisto has appeared before in the comics. He's
In the
disguised
form of a
himself
rat.
as a fly. No. And remember it like zoomed in on that cicada at one moment?
Mhm.
Yeah, which
Yes.
by the
Oh,
way, fuck
shit.
that noise.
Yeah, so I think that is
Oh,
Ralph
shit.
/ Mephisto, and then her son is the rabbit. Yeah, awesome.
Interesting.
one, don't take the rabbit being Mephisto from me, you big ol' meanie pants. Also, why? I know the comics of Scratch, the son, whatever. Can you say his name again? What was it?
Nicholas Scratch.
Senor Scratchy.
Nicholas Scratch. both work.
Senor
Either way, I don't think there's any advantage to her having her son there. Like, I think that's more of a
I think it's a reference.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
It's
here's
a little
what's
poke, and it's a little foreshadowing because they're like Agnes and your Scratch. It's like, aha, Mr.
Well,
Scratch.
yeah,
Or
let's
Nicholas
just-
Scratch, Agatha Harkness. Like,
Someone
let's
someone
get the
also
big.
go ahead.
I was just saying, let's get the big reveal of this week out of the way, and that's the song I was trying to play, but my mic didn't pick it up. It was Agatha all along. Been stuck
First
in my
off,
head
Great
for the
song.
last 12
Great
months.
song.
What
what
a
a fucking
bop!
bop.
It's up there with like Bug Snacks and like the State Farm jingle.
Ooh, is it? I mean, I love it, but Bug Snacks, I don't know if it's that level.
I do.
Bug
But
snacks level, but
the thing, so yeah, Agatha has now reveals herself as if she's the one pulling all the strings. That's the lyrics of the song. I don't know how much I'm willing to believe that, or I'm willing to see that her allegiance might change, because in the comics, Agatha tends to actually be more of a friend rather than a foe. However, Mephisto obviously been a foe, and Nicholas Scratch has been a foe to like the Fantastic Four and even his own mom. So talk about mommy issues.
There have been a few times where Agatha also has been a foe. She kind of just plays the middle, doesn't really serve anybody more or less. She kind
An
of just
agent of chaos.
looks out for her own self-interest outside of some times where she's worked with
Yeah, and
both
she's
Scarlet
helped
Witch and
Wanda
Mephisto.
handle her powers a lot.
I
Yeah.
think she's doing this to spite someone.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think this is. Also, oh sorry, go ahead.
I can't. I'm sorry. Yeah, Agatha. I feel like she does tend to be like she kind of just does whatever's in her going to help her in the moment, even if that means 1 second she's helping Wanda and 1 second she's like, "Oh, fuck you." Catherine Hahn. Like if somebody had said at the beginning of this, Catherine Hahn is going to be playing Agatha Harkness, I'd be like, I don't know about that, but like everything about it is so good, and like the fucking I actually did bite a kid once. I was like,
I lost it. I
That
lost
line
it there.
is so good.
so good.
And then the
And,
fact
like-
that like she takes this pause and you're like, oh, she's gonna have more to say, and then she doesn't. I lost it.
Yeah.
There's an awkward
I-
pause there for that too.
It's fabulous.
But that
Yeah.
made it.
It's also great to see her in this kind of role again, considering that she was in Parks and Rec, where she played a surprisingly similar character. And it's just it's
Less
perfect.
magic, more
She's a fucking-
alcoholism.
She's a fucking tour de force, man. Like,
For real.
honestly, fantastic performance all season.
Honestly, most of the acting in this show is pretty damn good.
Mhm.
Needs
Honestly.
to be like
Elizabeth
just-
Olsen. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
I was
yeah,
gonna
no.
say,
I
round of
completely agree.
applause to basically anybody that's in the hex because they have had to jump from style to style to style, and they've nailed it every time.
Mhm.
If Elizabeth Olsen and Katherine Hahn do not walk away from the show with Emmy nominations, I am going to
Alright.
burn Marvel Studios to the ground.
No,
I
you
think Paul
won't.
Bettany deserves one as well.
Wait, why Marvel Studios? Why not the
Yeah,
the
it's not
enemy
them.
headquarters?
Because a lot of the time when things like this don't get nominations, it's because the network didn't submit it, and I'm concerned that Disney Plus is going to submit them.
Yeah.
No,
Also,
if
I
you think
cannot wait.
Disney's not going to try and get as many awards as possible.
Exactly.
The riot that Twitter will have if they get nominated, because there's going to be all the people that's like, oh, it's just the fucking MCU. It's like, no, like this, like, and I take the MCU for what it is. I get that it's an adaptation of just comic books. I'm not walking away learning something that changes me, but like these performances are insane.
Legitimately
Mhm.
very good, like very
Top.
very like top of the line for everything that they put out so far.
Mhm.
This episode made me cry multiple times. Like, and I've watched it twice. I watched it when it dropped and like an hour ago, and both times I got very emotional. Jordan can attest to I don't cry, but
No.
this fucking show got me. Fucking,
So
I can't.
someone, I'm jumping around. I apologize if I'm screwing up.
No,
the
it's
flow.
fine. We've
But
been doing
someone,
it like that.
That's what we do.
someone brought up Fantastic Four, and so was anyone else shocked that this wasn't Reed Richards? It was just
I
some
think-
random
Just
human
a
being
nobody.
that we've never heard of
I
before.
don't know if that was the aerospace engineer because she
It
was in
was.
full
It 100%
military
was.
garb.
It
Yeah,
100%
Leon.
was.
So
Okay, Leon.
It's not the aerospace engineer. They left the aerospace engineer. I didn't catch it until I watched it with subtitles.
Oh.
They are sword operatives that defected from Hayward because they don't agree with what he's doing, and they're loyal to Maria. And that's why she says we're not just loyal to Maria, meaning we're also loyal to you.
Monica,
I
yeah.
thought it was like some random, and I was like, this is so stupid that they kept referencing this. And then I watched it back with subtitles. No, it's just that like they're
That's what I
coming
thought.
back from the aerospace engineer and meeting up with these sword agents that like basically defected.
All right, so
That
the
makes a
dream
lot
for
more
Reed
sense.
Richards lives.
Yes.
for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah,
So
I was like, oh,
lesson-
who's this Goodner lady? Like, what?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is
Lesson
this?
learned. Lesson learned. Watch with subtitles because apparently, there was
Never.
when watching the kind of funny one. Apparently, when Agatha was talking to Herb, she had a line was she's still in there.
Mhm.
Then
Yeah,
apparently you can only hear it when you're watching with only notice when you're watching with
And
subtitles.
then the audio description
Additionally-
from episode 5 called him the Quicksilver from the X-Men films.
Yeah. There was
Sure.
also at the beginning, like when she wakes up in bed, somebody pointed out it's hard to catch it unless you're watching with subtitles, but her radio is going, and radio WNDA mentions that essentially it like kind of quickly points out that it's like all the kids are asleep again.
Down because I thought I was going insane, and I thought my subtitles were getting fucked up because on Disney Plus sometimes they get ahead of the action, and I was like, oh, this is just it thinks Agatha's about to walk in, not like this. And I rewound it, and it's literally, good morning, thank you for tuning into WNDA. Not a thing weighing heavily on your conscience. I hope your little ghosts made it home last night. It's always a treat, such a treat to see those creepy little kiddos out and about once a year.
Oof.
Oh my gosh!
And then it ends.
Yeah,
Like,
gone.
done. I had my TV set to
Oh.
like max because I was trying to hear it. Like, it's crazy that they just throw in all this little shit that
Yeah.
you hear.
Also, speaking of like your Disney Plus issues, I was able to get into the episode no problem last night, but seeing on Twitter that the phrase "it's working" was trending because people were struggling to get in.
People were freaking out about that. It was down for like, I don't know,
Yeah,
3
I-
minutes.
I
It's
was
getting to
asleep.
the point where everyone
was
is
asleep
jumping
as
and
well.
watching it at the drop.
Correct.
Down for
So
half an hour.
Didn't Disney really? Didn't Disney Plus, like when it initially launched, didn't it have
It
that
was like
problem?
days.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for like 2 days, like it was bad.
Mando. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
man,
once
Mando destroyed Disney Plus.
yeah, and once the Roku app launched too, it was like fucked up for
Broken
a
again.
couple of days just because so many people were on it.
Mm.
Makes sense.
As far as more
Traffic.
little things go, too, in the the actual like the theme song intro, it's a blink and you'll miss it, where it's showing like Wanda and all different kinds of like texts and textures and fonts and all that stuff. There's one where it's like magnets on a fridge and it says, "I know what you're doing, Wanda."
And
yes, I did see
and
that.
it's just like real quick and it's gone.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck.
I don't know what the visuals were referencing, but the music was very much referencing The Office.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Visuals are the opening to Happy Endings.
Yeah.
Happy Endings is me and my best friend's favorite one of our favorite sitcoms.
No, it's
and
not.
it's
not my favorite sitcom.
Victoria.
Wah, wah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Victoria's
You walked into that.
sitcom. Yeah, dude.
No, you walked me into that. Like you could have said one of my best friends, but okay, cool, whatever.
All right, I'm on her side.
We're
on this
not
one. Sorry,
having this
Jordan.
argument on the podcast.
Sorry, Jordan.
Yeah, it's a reference to the opening to Happy Endings is just happy popping up in all these different places and like signs and shit. And then at the end, it shows happy in the sky and like something comes through and the clouds come in with endings, which is such a niche reference because that show got canceled after 3 seasons. And
That's
like,
the Adam Scott one on HBO, right?
no,
Okay.
no, it's one from, I want to say it was on ABC, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Oh wow, the Russo brothers produced Happy Endings.
Yes, they
Yeah.
did.
Oh.
Well, there you go. Time is a circle.
It is a circle, honestly.
Then I'm guessing
So-
the title when Vision came in and then it like switched to black and it was like the white and red. I'm pretty sure that's Modern
Yeah.
Family
Yeah.
Yeah.
reference.
I mean, the whole episode was Modern
It
Family.
was Modern
Right,
Family,
yeah.
yeah. And like I've only seen a few episodes,
Oh,
but like
it's
they
such a good
nailed it.
show.
Like
It's such a good
her
show.
kind of going through her own one regret of the last episode, 2 realizing that this is all not only falling apart, but that she's lost control, but giving that through the talking heads was so genius.
Oh yeah.
And then like her being a mother that's given up because honestly at this point I think Wanda's just given up. Like it all
But
worked very
also-
well.
And then it gave us the fantastic point where, of course, Vision is doing his talking head segment,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "What am I doing here?" He's
Yeah.
like, "Why
Loved
am I
it.
doing this right now?"
Here's the thing that does it like that
He
works.
pulls the lapel mic off of him.
But the reason that still works is because in all the shows, Office, Parks and Rec, Modern Family, there have been moments where they reference the mockumentary aspect of it, and they do something like that.
It was a whole plot point in like the last season of The Office. In fact,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't spoil it for Jordan. He's not there yet.
Sorry.
We don't talk.
I mean, I've seen one thing where it's like someone was getting on a plane, and then
It
he,
becomes
like,
it becomes more of a thing in the last.
yeah. So it's like it doesn't just work as like, oh, Vision's like realizing through the facade. It's like, oh no, like this actually still works as the keeping it within the sitcom.
But also, I mean, of course, it's revealed that it was Agatha all along later. But I did like the point where somebody in the crew like speaks to one, and she's like, "You're not supposed to talk."
Yeah.
that was
Agnes.
that was
That was
cool.
Agnes. That was Agnes.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
Agnes. That's what I'm saying. But it's like before that, when that
It
happens,
wasn't
I
her
was like,
actual
"Oh, shit."
voice, but yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was her. It was her. She was just lower.
Yeah. Okay, I thought it was a man.
That's
I
what
mean,
these
she's
guys
a
do.
witch. She could disguise her voice.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole thing is like, turns out, hey, this whole thing was an illusion. But also, I mean, it's this weird meta thing where she's created this fake sitcom and stuff, and then when the crew of this sitcom suddenly speaks to her, she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like, I
Mhm.
really like that.
Hold up.
You're not supposed to do that.
So there's 3 things I want to talk about. The one I want to start with is why is everything glitching out? Like why are the eras coming in and out?
I think it's because the physical space has expanded and it's just more taxing. on
Wanda's
her.
lost control.
Plus,
So is that it?
plus,
I
like,
think that's it.
I think
She-
between the 2 of them, they don't have enough power to keep that like Wanda kind of fucked shit up by expanding the hex because
Wanda,
it's that many more people that have to
Well, I think they were also like they kind of pointed out in the last episode too that like the further away that you get from Wanda, the less the people are doing. Like they're kind of just like set dressing,
Statues.
and yeah, they're not important. And like you get that one woman that's like repeatedly
yeah.
hanging up
Love that
over and
scene.
over again, and
They're waiting for their
it's a
cue.
fantastic scene. But I think it's kind of showing is like, oh, she doesn't control them as much the further away that she is from them. Like
I also took it as because like Wanda said in the beginning, I'll get to you in a second, Austin. Sorry. But like Wanda was just like, oh, I'm giving up today. It's a me day. I'm not gonna try. And I think because her focus is so on she's purposely not focusing as much as she's having these moments where it changes, but then she also doesn't. That's when she refocuses and fixes it because she doesn't want a reminder of what she's done either.
So
Austin.
if that is the case, how does that benefit Agnes? Because she was the one that kind of like she didn't, but she did kind of let Vision just go. Is that to get rid of Vision? Is that the whole thing? But like I don't know. How
I
does
suppose we'll find
I
expanding
out
think
it?
it's
How does
Expanding it was
it?
Wanda.
Yeah,
Agnes.
that was her idea, but I think Agnes definitely was trying to incite something by pretending that Vision had affected her somehow. Like she's clearly got an end game here. We just don't quite know what
Yeah.
it is.
Mhm.
Did
That's
you
the
say
thing. It's hard to predict what the reason why she's done what she does because we don't really know yet.
so? Expanding it was Agnes's idea?
No, expanding it
No.
was Wanda
Okay,
doing
you
it.
just said her. You just said her, so I was just clarifying. I
No,
was
no,
like,
no, 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 yeah. No, what I'm saying was that it was Agnes's idea to pretend to be affected by Vision when
Right.
to try and get him. I think she was pushing him to try and leave to instigate Wanda.
I said that on the episode that we lost, but it's like she was the only one that wasn't like rip. She was the only one that wasn't stuck. She had full autonomy even at the very edge. So it's like that gave me a hint that Agnes was like
I
up
still don't
to something.
see. I still don't see how that benefits her though. It
We don't know
expanding
yet.
and her having less control.
It's
That's
because
what
I don't
I
think
mean,
Wanda. I don't
my-
think Wanda knew she'd have less control. I think she just
Yeah.
went, "You guys aren't getting in." But yeah, LeighErin.
I'm kind of with Austin that I think part of it might just be like Wanda's a mess when she's emotionally upset. Like she just does stupid shit when she's upset. Like, did she need to rip out Ultron's heart like that? No, she was
Yes.
upset about
Oh.
her brother dying. Like, the whole thing with the building falling, like so much happens because she gets upset. When she gets upset, when she gets upset,
Scratchy.
scratchy. She like panics, and so I think it's so much at this point that she has children that she isn't really sure how they made. Vision's just gone and like doesn't want to be there, and he's not under her control anymore. She threw Pietro just through like a hay wall and an arch, and
He deserved it.
he did deserve it, but still. Like there's just so much going on that it almost comes into like an exhausting thing because like one of the description I had seen about it online is like imagine trying to hold back like water, like when a pipe bursts and you're trying to stop the water from going everywhere. Eventually, like some of it's gonna slip because you can't hold it
Yeah.
all. You can't stop all of that. So I think like yeah, we have two really powerful witches at play here, but there's also just that's gonna take so much energy to like keep everything perfect. And Agatha probably knows that Wanda gets real weird when she's upset. Like, look at how when Monica was like trying to talk to her, and Agnes saw that Monica was getting through to her and went to her and was like, "No, never mind," and took her away because she needs to keep her in that feeling crazy place so that she thinks everyone outside of the hex is a villain
Yeah.
and somebody that's gonna hurt her.
I also saw one meme that when Wanda was going like, "You don't come back here," and Agnes was pulling her away. Someone said it was the same energy as the woman yelling, and then the cat meme.
And again, on that note, I think though they've been careful to point out multiple times that again, Wanda doesn't know how it started, and I mean, I think clearly, it was Agnes all along. It's I think this was something that Agatha pushed Wanda into doing without Wanda realizing it, and it's all starting to finally come to a head.
Al,
Yeah.
you've been trying to get
Yeah.
in.
Yes, so I've had just kind of a thought in talking here. Do we think that Agatha is trying to steal Wanda's powers, become a more powerful witch? That's why she's trying to get her to like tire her powers out, get her like
No.
tired and
No, I think it's the children
Something to do with the
and
children.
in spite to spite someone. Like she's like, haha, I got because now the children are gone, right? They went to her house and now the
Where are
children
they?
are just poof. I mean, stranger things have happened, so like whatever.
the
But,
book
like-
was acting weird when they showed that. So maybe they
You
got
say the
sucked in-
book?
The book.
Mhm.
Yeah, they did like
Yeah,
a
but-
one close up on the book.
I got that. Thank you. I was just making sure he brought up the book. So can we talk about the book? What is this book?
It's Witch's book.
L book.
Yeah, it's got spells and shit.
Okay.
That's
I thought
my
I thought we'd have some
Um,
more Marvel
don't know.
knowledge about the book.
I don't
Screw y'all.
think
She's a
so.
witch. She's a witch. Witches use spell books. What more do you want?
I thought it was
No.
maybe because the kids
It
aren't
could
in
be a
there.
cookbook. She
Right.
does have to eat.
Witch's cookbook.
It's okay. Well,
I did see people saying that they thought Agnes ate the kids, and I was like, whoa, like that's
What, like
That's a
Hansel and Gretel?
yeah,
So-
that's a stretch, and that's dark, and that's coming from this show, but that's dark.
There's a book in Marvel. I couldn't remember what it was called, and from my understanding, it should be in the possession of Doctor Strange, but it's called the Darkhold. And from this quick Google thing, it's also known as the Book of Sins or the Book of Spells. In an ancient book of spells and unspeakable power, the book is made of dark matter from the Hell dimension.
Is that the one from Doctor Strange that the guy takes a sheet out of?
No, that's
No.
But
There
I just think that's
Very
important.
similar.
It's also the big thing that everybody was talking about is that the energy shit around it, like how it was like pulsating that orange color, is
Mhm.
orange, not purple. And Agatha's powers are
Mhm.
purple, and it
Wan-
could be something from the Doctor Strange universe because his little like
Dormammu.
shit
Dormammu.
is
Selling
that
ring.
That was another thing. Agnes's son, Nicholas Scratch, has teamed up with Dormammu in the comics.
So,
Yes.
okay, real quick before I forget, do we think, because this is the question that popped up in my head, do we think Wanda is resetting things or do we think Agatha is resetting things? Because when she did the mind thing on Wanda, to me, that meant, oh, Agatha's the one that resets everything all the time.
I think it's Wanda still.
Really? Okay.
I think, I mean, they said Agatha's pulling the strings, not necessarily running the whole show. So I think Agnes is like setting things up to get certain reactions out of Wanda.
Yeah,
That's-
as far as like the actual like eras or whatever, I think that's Wanda.
But even
Yeah.
even in her moments of like cognizance, she still has no idea what's going on. So you'd think she'd have some memory of resetting whatever, but she
Well,
doesn't.
Not necessarily.
Wanda's kind of just been in a straight up denial because like Vision calls her out on it in the 80s episode. She's like, oh, what, are you just gonna reset everything to a different era? I don't know if he's specifically pointed out that it was a different time period, but he's like, oh,
Like,
you're
what,
just
we're
gonna
gonna
reset.
sit down and watch TV and you're gonna change everything again tomorrow? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So, and Wanda just was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. But it's like, she does. And Wanda, I think, has realized what she's done. And
Because during that scene, she had like the credits and music roll and everything, trying to like drown him out. Like,
Yeah.
I loved that. That was a great
that was,
aspect of
yeah.
them.
It was
And in
great.
that same part, you know, Vision even says, I feel like this did start subconsciously, but like, you can't, like, this has gone too far. And I think that there are multiple people at play. We know now Agnes is one. I do think Wanda has more power than we may be giving her credit for right now, where it's like, no, she's still doing a lot of this stuff.
See, everything you said in my mind supports that Agnes is the one resetting it. So
I mean, okay.
I'll happily
Maybe.
be wrong. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Liren.
Monica for a second because I'm so goddamn excited.
That's
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
had the
I
blue.
was literally about
That's
to
why I put the
I'm so
blue.
excited.
I was not I figured at some point down the line we were going to get Photon. I did not expect them to drop the photon bomb, for lack of a better word, like immediately. like I was like, oh shit, she's already got powers. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And
That
it
was a
She did
super
the
cool
superhero
scene.
landing, and I went,
Her
oh.
vision's cool. Yeah, and then how she could like see things through different, I guess, frequencies or whatever.
Mhm.
I do think that the her going through the hex and gaining her powers, I feel like that went on like a bit too long.
I thought that
It
was
was
cool.
You on this
it was
for a
a little
second?
too long.
I
Oh,
like
can I
it.
can
ate
I
it up.
fight this for a minute?
Sure.
Do you know what they're saying?
I heard a mixture of things.
It's literally the scene where from Captain Marvel, where Carol is trying to convince Maria to go with them, and Maria goes, "I can't leave Monica alone." Monica goes, "I can go stay with my grandparents," basically, and it's that whole back and forth argument. And then you hear her go, "Where is it? I wrote it all down. Hang on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?" Maybe you hear young Monica go, maybe I could fly halfway up to meet you. Nick Fury, only if you learn to glow like your Aunt Carol. Maria, you were the most powerful person I knew. The doctor saying, your mom, she died, honey. Wu saying your mom was an inspiration. Carol saying, your mom's lucky when they were handing out kids, they gave her the toughest one. So it's like all this stuff about her mom and about her becoming like Carol, and very clearly something happened between her and Carol, and like there is some animosity there. So like I don't think it was too long. I think it was establishing everything that is
Mhm.
leading Monica to this point that she went, my entire DNA has changed twice. And I already know that, and I'm gonna just walk through this thing again, and I'm gonna force myself
Yeah.
through it. And then she goes into Carol's pose. When Wanda drops her, she falls right into Carol's pose, and like the looking up with the blue eye, like it was all just so fucking cool. Like it looked
Yep.
so good. And
The
like,
effects were fantastic.
Mhm.
Yeah, it looked
yeah,
awesome.
what I loved is like, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a tangent here, but having Marvel's first black woman with actual superpowers be revealed without pomp and circumstance, and like that Marvel is finally getting away from everything being about just a bunch of straight white guys. And like it was just so good to see, and like her saying that she can't change her pain, and that's who she is. Her pain and all of that is like it was just so cool, and like it was one of the parts that I cried at. It's just like that her going through the hex, and then that scene with Wanda just like meant so much to me as a comic fan, because it was like, oh, they really do want to give minorities a place at the table now. And they're going to be just as powerful as everybody else. And like you have this scene between three incredibly powerful women, and that was just so cool to see. And I'll get off the soapbox now. I was just very excited.
No, keep
No, it's
going.
fine.
Yeah, yeah.
That was awesome.
It was just so great to see, and it wasn't this like, oh, we're getting our first black superhero, like the way they announced it big at Comic-Con. It just happened. And like I just really like the normalization of that.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, of
That's great.
course she's turned into a superhero. Yeah.
I think there is something
Mhm.
to be said about the fact that she is. It's not her. It's not Monica's show. Not even in the title, but it's still her introduction. That they're not trying to make it like, "Hey, give us applause." Like it's happening.
It's a very
Deal with
natural
it.
thing.
Yeah. And I just
Uh,
like that was really great to see.
So something I'm also excited for. Just one Photon, fantastic character from the comics, but and I know that there's been a conversation around the MCU as it's gone on of like power creep and stuff. And in the comics, Photon extremely powerful, like one of like top tier, up there with Captain. She was Captain Marvel briefly for a while.
Mhm.
And so I'm just like, they're gonna have to raise the power levels of everybody else, baby. Let's go.
Well,
Let's get that power creep going. Let's see it.
I mean, this show definitely increased Wanda's.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So that set the bar, I
Which-
think, for everyone.
Speaking of that, I remember seeing. I think it was Ian Wynott, friend of the show. He had a crazy theory that he put in his Discord, where he was saying that with every era the show goes on, Wanda's been getting more powers. Like more of her powers are basically unlocking. So maybe that's something that Agatha's kind of been helping along. That
Just as
Maybe,
it's
yeah.
going, like kind of pushing Wanda to get more like stronger and stronger
Yeah.
over time.
Yep.
In the comic, she does help Wanda learn about her powers and help her become a more powerful witch. But
Mhm.
from what I've seen, it's not. She doesn't do it as a villain. Like she legitimately is like, "I want to help you."
She was
so-
like she was kind of like a mentor to
yeah.
Yep.
Scarlet Witch. Whereas in the show, very clearly antagonistic, at least from what we've seen so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
At least for now, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so far.
So
I mean, who
what do
knows what
we-
the fuck will happen next week?
I was just gonna ask that. Like, this seems like something that would happen in like a penultimate episode. Kind of that twist. We still have 2 episodes left.
Well, I think
love
there's.
that feeling.
I feel like you're right. It does feel a lot like a penultimate, but there's still a lot of things we need to figure out. And I would hate that. I would hate if there was one episode rush and we had to end all that and then
Oh,
also
yeah,
like
but I'm
wrap
just-
the show up.
I'm just saying that the
Yeah,
way
there's a
this
lot of that
ended.
Oh yeah, there's a. Well, let's also talk. This was the first episode, and it could be because this is when it started in this era that had a mid-credits scene. Did everyone watch it?
Yes.
Yep.
Dude, so
I-
I literally was watching the episode. Credits started rolling. I checked Twitter and I saw your tweet. I was like, okay.
See,
I'm
I stopped watching,
Got it.
drove to work, and I saw that tweet. And this was because
Oh,
normally
no.
it's on. I usually like scroll through and just check. This was the first week I did not check.
I was just looking at my phone. I was like, "Oh, I'll turn this off in a second." And then I saw something. I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like I would have missed it if I didn't just feel like being lazy and not
Mhm.
touching my remote.
Yeah,
Because I
Yay to
don't
laziness.
I watch it on my.
yeah. I wouldn't have known it was
computer.
there. I just like the moment I would have seen like please stand by, I'd have exited out if people hadn't been tweeting about it. So appreciate y'all.
Yeah. The one
Why
time you guys helped.
tree
I just said the one time people on Twitter actually helped by tweeting stuff out about WandaVision.
Why the tree roots?
I don't
Spooky.
know.
Is it just because it's spooky?
Or is it because it's
No.
that
Which also,
underground?
by the way, if
I don't-
this is what they mean and are developing for Doctor Strange is going to be scary, fuck yeah. Because, like, I called Jordan freaking out that I was going to be terrified. Sorry, Austin.
Isn't Sam Raimi doing Doctor Strange too? He's got some
Yeah,
roots of
and he's
horror. Yeah.
good at
I'm
horror.
gonna forget. There's
Yeah, tell us.
Go.
there's a like a plant of sorts. I'm not gonna do it justice.
Nerd root.
That Elder Scrolls? Is that what you just
Yeah,
used?
Elf root.
I got you. There's a plant in the MCU that like it's like kind of like it mind bends you, but it has to do with your pain. Like,
Marijuana.
it feeds off anyway. It feeds off your pain, and I drew like a conclusion from that from how photon became photon, and so that made me think that this plant is kind of it's that plant from the comics, and that's what's creating the wall, the whatever you
Hex.
guys call it. Yeah, the hex. Like that's the basis of the hex is using that because when photon walked through it, I don't know why I'm doing this. When photon walked through it, it like all her pain kind of like came, like it hit her in the face,
Yeah.
like her multiple faces. She literally had to like fight through that. So I have a theory that she's using this plant, and that's the basis of her witchcraft for sorts. But I don't remember
could
what I don't remember what the plant's called. I'll be back.
While he looks that up, can I say
Lemon
something really
pods.
quick about the commercial?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the commercial.
Yeah.
I've been looking since last night. It says that the main ingredient in that medication, in the antidepressant, which, whoa, not the commercial that I needed. Wanda's monologue about nothing mattering and everything being meaningless, not something I needed in the end times. And
Also,
then
shout out to a depression medication.
Also,
Side
I just
effect
wanna-
being more depression.
Yeah, I just want to
Yeah.
like maybe I'm an idiot, but some of these commercials have been so good. I forget I'm not supposed to be seeing commercials while watching this. Like I forget
Right.
it's a streaming service. I'm just like, oh
Mhm.
okay. I'm like, wait, no, fuck. Like this is part of the thing.
Mhm.
Nexial promicide, 10.3%. I've been Googling this all. That's not real. And I
No,
can't figure out
but
what it is referencing.
I found it. I
So-
found it out. I was doing some research. Wanda in the comics is known as a Nexus being, which means
Mhm.
she does not change in the multiverse. She is the same person across all the multiverses.
Interesting.
Okay.
And there are other Nexus beings.
Yeah, because they're in TVA.
Yeah, that was the other thing.
Most
The
of the people who work in
TVA
TVA are
monitors
Nexus.
Nexus beings.
Yeah.
So that
Oh.
might be how this is linked to Loki, because both of them are linked to Doctor Strange too.
TVA is about to be busy.
Loki
Yeah.
isn't a Loki isn't a Nexus though, right?
I don't know.
don't think
Loki
so.
is not a Nexus, but the TVA monitors them.
I
Yeah.
also
So
totally feel they could just rewrite that. Loki's a Nexus now. Why not?
They could make him
Oh,
a
yeah.
Nexus because
It would make
has.
sense.
Yeah, to my understanding in the comics, it has nothing to do with where, like, what planet or universe you're from. It just is some people are and some people aren't. Don't quote me on that. I'm not positive that that's how it works.
My understanding, it's like beings that are, and I don't just mean like that are powerful, and I don't just mean in raw like physical power. I mean it's like people who have the ability to like almost be God in a way. And it's like
Almost.
you don't necessarily have to have the same story, because the fact that there's a, the Wanda in the MCU is not 100% identical to the one in the comics proves that she's not the same in all the multiverses. I just think it's like the person will not change. Like in Spider-Gwen's universe, Peter Parker and Matt Murdock are bad people. I think Wanda's personality and goals remain the same no matter which universe you're looking in, even if
Yeah.
they're at different.
Aspects of the character change, but the central ideas of the character stay the same throughout. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I do have.
Um,
I would like to say something before
Chris.
Yeah.
also before I forget, Austin. As far as Nexus goes, though, too, there is another thing in Marvel related to Nexus called the Nexus of All Worlds, which is literally a room full of doors that lead to different multiverses. We go down into the basement, and what do we see?
Lots of
A room
doors.
full of doors, and
We have
we have a Quicksilver from another multiverse.
That's a good point.
So
You got
let's
me.
talk about
You got
Pietro
me.
for a second. Let's talk about Pietro because one.
Oh,
Okay,
hold
I
on.
know.
Can I bring up the plant real quick? This stupid
Yeah.
freaking plant.
Go ahead.
It's called Everbloom, and reading up on this thing.
Everclear,
this-
got
I- God damn it! Reading up on this, the first thing I didn't. This isn't me. I didn't notice this. So looper.com. the first thing that Agnes brings into the house is a plant. Brings into
She brings in
Wanda's
flowers.
house. Yeah.
No, it's not flowers, but it's not like a bouquet, but
Something.
she brings
Something.
some sort of
It's
a
a
plant as a
plant.
housewarming gift.
And then boop, and that's the first thing she brings into the house.
And that was the
So
start of
it's called
her theme
Everbloom.
song. That was the start of her theme song. It's like she's carrying it. She
shit,
turns the whole thing
she's
gray and
she's
walks
got
in.
it in her arms.
All in my brain, aka Looper. All up here.
Alrighty.
Can we also
Thank
talk about
you to our botanist, Austin.
how when she does that and makes Wanda see that theme song, Austin might be right. She might be resetting everything.
I mean, maybe. I think she's definitely like the catalyst for turning TV broadcast.
I just went from not agreeing with Austin to agreeing with Austin in one second.
You completely 180'd.
It's a shout out to the Munsters, which I deeply appreciate. But she drops down in like this traditional witch's outfit
And then changes it to
in this
the
like
50s.
raggedy skirt, and I was like, "This is a choice."
I need to see the whole costume. I really do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Huh.
It's like, oh no.
Your
Yeah.
camera froze.
Oopsie.
The camera made you look like a pervert.
There you go.
Sorry, I shouldn't have even brought it up. It's my bad.
It's fine. I heard it too.
I'm
But
not ashamed.
I mean, I literally tweeted today that there's
moment.
Did you guys see the Easter egg between Darcy, Wanda, and Catherine and Agnes?
I saw a tweet,
Oh.
did not see it. I'm
Yeah,
very curious.
all three of them could step on me. I don't think
Oh.
no one's picked up on that.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Never mind.
Same.
Can I join that club?
Bye, Austin.
Can I come?
I go first.
Weeks I've been talking about what a nice ass Catherine Hahn has. I'm just saying, like.
I mean, literally, the Malcolm in the Middle episode starts with them like. I also like having that theme song. She kind of comes off more as like the older sister rather than like the neighbor, because like they kind of
Yeah.
dressed her as if she was a teenager.
I mean, we all dressed like teenagers in the early 2000s. It was weird.
Early 2000s was
still
a
dress like
bad
teenagers.
time for fashion,
was a
especially
rough
for men.
Time, and it's coming back, and I don't like it.
I'm not ready to wear baggy
It's coming.
jeans.
It's coming back. It's coming back in a very idealized way to what kids thought we wore in the 2000s. You know what I mean?
Coming,
looks
features
better
of it are
now.
coming back, but we are no longer wearing basketball jerseys down to our knees.
It looks better now, I think. But
Yeah,
baggy
for
jeans are
yourself.
in again.
but
I really like the idea of that Nexus room, by the way.
Yeah.
That lines up perfectly in my stupid brain.
It's an interesting
for
thought,
why
I think.
Pedro's here.
It's an interesting thought, I think, and I mean, there was a specific shot though too of Agatha like affecting Pietro like while he's at
So,
Wanda's door.
That's what I was gonna say. No longer. I mean, I never fully
Like, who the
believed
fuck
it, but
is this guy?
I think it is really the X-Men Pietro. And I said Marvel.
He's just been hexed.
If he was Mephisto, I don't think Marvel
been
would have
hacked.
cast Evan Peters without realizing what those implications are. I do now think Agatha just controlled him. Like she grabbed him from his universe and is like now just controlling him.
The MCU, I love how they write things, how they make these plots, because we're like MCU wouldn't do that, and then we're like they're totally doing that,
Like, fuck
and then
yeah,
we're
we
like,
would.
oh shit, they're not doing that. It's like
They're not
oh,
doing that.
no.
He's Mephisto, but we haven't written off the possibility that Mephisto is here.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
don't think Evan Peters is Mephisto. I think it's
No.
I still
I
think it's
Ralph.
Ralph.
Over.
I still think it's Ralph.
I
Wherever
think
this
Ralph
dude is,
Mephisto, yeah.
yeah,
or
wherever that
it's
dude is.
or Mephisto's just maybe the magic was her putting Mephisto inside him to like control him, like his consciousness or whatever. But
Sure.
I know there's no better way to word that.
Possession?
Yeah.
She made Mephisto possess him? You couldn't think of that word?
I'm sorry, I'm not a fucking
She had-
thesaurus.
She had to insert Mephisto into him.
You're right. You're not a dinosaur.
Okay. So breezing right by that.
I'm back.
With Mephisto, I am a hoe for Kevin Smith and listen to every podcast that man has. I was
Kevin, if you're listening.
I literally love that man. Like if I ever met him, I don't think I'd be able to speak. I love him. But I was listening to his podcast, Fat Man Beyond, and they were talking about the whole Mephisto thing. And he pointed, yeah, Austin?
Ignore me.
He pointed out that like he was like, I love Mephisto. Like I wrote Mephisto into Daredevil. Like I love Mephisto, but I don't think that they're going to just make Mephisto. That they're going to necessarily introduce him in this if he is a big bad, because it would not make sense to introduce him just to be a big bad in WandaVision. And he was saying that we might be getting something like, is it Avengers where we see Thanos for the first time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that it will be something like that where we may not see Mephisto in, like Wanda may not see Mephisto, Pietro may not see Mephisto. We may see him, just not in the capacity of him being like, yes, I am a bad guy, I am here, I am literally Satan, let's go.
Set him up to become the next like Avengers level threat sort of thing.
Yeah, to set him up to be this big threat, and he does interact with like so many heroes in the Marvel universe, like Doctor Strange and Daredevil and Spider-Man, and
Set
like
him
all
up
the
for Doctor
Loki,
Strange kind
like
of thing.
Yeah.
it would make sense, and it would make sense for what's his nuts from Doctor Strange, who becomes evil at the end and goes and starts killing all the wizards.
Mordo.
Thank you.
So
That he would work
That's
with.
nuts.
it does, and I'm gonna piggyback off that, because when I was doing my research on Nicholas Scratch, there's Agnes's and Mephisto's son. Two of his allies are Dormammu,
Mhm.
and then another group of like rogue witches and wizards called the Salem Seven. Now, if they just adapted that into just, oh, these are people from Doctor Strange, it would all work. Also, another person he teamed up with is Immortus, which is just another name that Kang the Conqueror goes by at a different time, and we know Kang the Conqueror is coming in Ant-Man 3, and he's also not a one movie villain.
He is also a Nexus being.
Yes,
Salem,
because
the Salem 7 is just a dope name. I just wanted to throw that out there.
that was
Cool.
in the
Yeah.
comics. Agatha is one of the witches that they tried to burn in
Yeah,
Salem.
she was actually from.
Yeah.
She's literally one of
Oh,
the Salem
wow.
witches. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Dope. Dope.
Yeah, because Wanda, it's Scarlet Witch, Vision, Kang the Conqueror, Odin, and Jean Grey are like the 5 big Nexus that we like know of.
Oh.
There are other ones, but they're smaller characters.
I thought you were naming Salem 7, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, Jean Grey
Odin Salem in
Uh,
1600 and got burned at the stake.
Yeah.
Like, Odin just
I
got
also
drunk and
assume
formed them.
all the Watchers are Nexus beings.
No,
They're just
They're not.
outside. They're like
They're
neither.
completely
They
outside.
exist like
Mhm.
outside the multiverse. Yeah.
Got it.
They're not.
Everyone, shut up. Brett, what do you think? You haven't talked enough.
Oh yeah.
I just as soon as I heard Odin, I was like, "You are not the king."
King yet.
God
Oh,
bless
man.
Anthony Hopkins.
I love how I swing it over to Brett, and he just does that.
Brett's just like, I wanted to make a Thor reference.
Listen,
Oh
they're
man,
movies.
I'm about to watch Brett's favorite movie tonight, Thor: The Dark World too.
let's go, dude.
You need better taste.
I know.
It's not a bad movie. There's worse
It's
than a few
really
movies.
not. It's
just
not as
boring.
bad as everybody makes it out to be.
Okay,
Mhm.
villain
Doesn't make it
terrible.
bad.
But
It could be. It gets more shit than it should. There are other
Anyway.
movies in the MCU that should get more shit than that movie.
Thor, Loki,
Not
and
true.
Frigga,
Yeah,
awesome.
Hulk.
Hulk is better in my opinion, but I have bad opinions.
Sorry, what?
The last one, the only good part of the Incredible Hulk is the last 1/3 of the movie, because, and I'll stand by this, I think design wise and like size wise, it's the best Hulk we've seen, but the rest of the movie's shit. And it's just
like
like,
it.
Plus
Okay,
Bruce-
I'm sorry for putting us down this path. I'm very, very sorry. I
was gonna say, let's get back to WandaVision.
I'm gonna turn the wheel back. Just because I really pointed out, we haven't touched on this yet. Just the incredible chemistry between Vision and Darcy, and
Yes.
all of their scenes
Yes.
were incredible, and I love
Darcy
them.
thinking that he's trying to hit on her.
So good.
Okay, fine, I'll go on a date with you.
how they're working on the traffic light as soon as they sit.
Okay, that bugged me to no end. I would have just drove in like around, like in the,
I
know, right?
in the grass.
Go through it.
I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
But I
Lauren.
also love, again, it feels like it's another great chance for Paul Bettany to really kind of stretch his comedy chops and that sort of thing. And that bit when they first get in the truck and start driving away, and he's like, "I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I can't." I was fucking dying, man. That whole
Yep.
stuff was
We got
hilarious.
double booked. We got double booked by our agent. Sorry.
So we gotta go. It's fantastic.
And the fact
I
that
loved
it took him so long to just fly out of there.
Not only that,
He's like,
like
"Oh,
the
yeah."
fact that it
it.
also
He does nothing.
it also took him a while to realize, oh yeah, if I just touch her head.
But so
Mhm.
he and to go with along this. Sorry, you want to talk or
I'm about to say something stupid, so you're fine.
okay? So Vision clearly remembers like being outside of the hex, and he wakes up like. So
but
yeah,
only remembers everything post Infinity War.
right. So
Mhm.
I just man like
Just
I
realized
still
something.
I still don't know like he has his
Above
own
Endgame, I guess.
agency. Yeah, he has his own agency. Like I just don't know if he's dead.
I don't think
Oh.
he's dead, but I think he's going to be what we've said he's going to be like in previous
Synthetic
shows where
weapon.
he's going to be there. He's not going to be the same Vision.
Right,
Because we also now
Thor was
know-
trying to rebuild him.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
know that Hayward was working on putting him back online, but now he has to put him back online without the Mind Stone. So that's going to take a good chunk of him out.
Yeah, okay, LeighErin, go, and then I'll go after you.
Okay, two stupid things. I just realized by losing last week's episode, we lost me getting yelled at for saying I don't like Winter Soldier.
Oh my
Do I
god!
what?
Don't
Why'd you
bring
bring
it
it up
up. Don't bring
You
it up.
what?
Cut it. Cut the feed.
Second, with Vision, for some reason, him and his makeup scratching his head makes me really uncomfortable.
The point where he's like scratching at
But
his
he's going like
his
this?
earpiece.
Yeah,
But it's fantastic though, because he's clearly like trying to be like going through his hair that he doesn't have any.
oh, it's
Mhm.
great. But like the idea of like metal rubbing against metal was all I could think about, and I was like, ooh, that's gotta be making a bad sound. And there's a boom operator somewhere listening to just the like. Eek.
Well,
I like
I
the way that he, like,
assume
knocks the boom
it's
mic
not
out of the way, though,
actual
like, that
metal.
was
I
great.
assume it's like a plastic or makeup.
Hmm.
I don't think they put actually.
Me out because he's touching his metal part of his head.
I
He's
know.
making a costume joke.
Me?
No,
No,
yeah,
no,
sure,
what?
Austin, go ahead.
I have a thing I want to say. Hi, my name's
Good.
Austin. I want to talk. So there's a scene where Vision is like, I think Wanda are putting these obstacles in front of me, so I take longer. I don't think that's Wanda. I think that's Agnes.
Agnes.
I just want to throw
Oh,
that
yeah.
out there.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. Because there, Wanda literally has a line where she's like, he doesn't want to be here. He's off doing whatever the hell he wants, and then
If he doesn't want to be here, I can't make him.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, so yeah, it's definitely Agnes doing that.
Also, shout out
Well,
to the
so-
GameCube controllers that we see in that segment where they're holding a
Yes.
Wii and
Yeah,
it turns
dude.
into GameCube, and I went, "Fuck
Well,
yeah, that's the greatest
It
console of all
started,
time."
it started as like I think like 90s-ish controllers, but it wasn't like specific. And then
It
it went to
started,
GameCube.
it started as a Wiimote and then went back into a GameCube controller.
And then
Oh,
it was
okay.
Yeah, it was a
Atari
Wii. It's a
something.
Wiimote in a
Then
black.
Atari.
And then it went to Atari, and then they
Then
went back to
Uno.
Wii.
Yeah.
No, it went,
Uno,
no,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It went to
Uno.
Atari for
Like
like a half a
plastic, like
second.
And they
Classic
turned
Uno.
into Uno, yeah.
Yeah.
But I saw a GameCube controller and I geeked out a little bit.
I got very excited.
Just,
Representation for my favorite.
Best
It's the best.
controller. Best controller.
The best
There it is.
controller.
I know I
Uh,
saw that around somewhere.
Oh my god,
Um,
GameCube purists are so fucking annoying. Go play Smash Bros.
I need to
I
pick
have-
something up.
You mean Super Smash Brothers Melee, the greatest video game of all time? I will go play it.
Oh my god, I could smell your BO from through the computer.
Dare you? The GameCube is the best system. Fucking
It's portable.
put respect on the
Nintendo's
fucking
first
game.
portable console.
Oh, the handle. Okay. Well,
Well, okay,
Alright.
so also yeah, so we know Hayward's motivation now is like he
Asshole.
wants to bring Vision back on
Yeah.
and make him a sentient weapon, hence sword.
That's the name. Yeah.
it lines up.
Yeah.
Are they about to nuke the Hex?
I think so.
I think so. I think he's
And
about to
I
Sounds
kill
horrific,
everybody.
yeah.
And like me and Leigh'rin just like did a I guess discussion on Avengers last week, and how easy people in this world are to just be like, we're just gonna nuke this town is like, whoa, wow, that's a
Fuck 'em.
That's a choice.
you had
Yeah.
nothing else in mind?
I have a note in my phone that in the MCU, suicide rates must be so high, and nuclear weapon usage is just like
Through the roof.
roof. Like, why is this like our immediate like thing? Is we're nukes? We're gonna
Well-
nuke.
Like I get it in Avengers, aliens, lots of them. They're like, you know
Avengers,
what?
I like. Avengers, I almost could have, I would have understood, and then you learn that it's a hive mind. I'm like, okay, never mind. But like this
Like-
one,
Yeah, them's just people.
I just mean this one, as in like this one
Yeah.
little town.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but even in New York, like if you dropped nukes in New York City, like
Oh,
you
it would
would
affect-
kill Jordan. You'd be dead. Like you would be dead or have issues
Finally,
with radiation.
God, I've been waiting for a while.
It would
Yeah,
kill people in New Jersey. Like
Oh yeah,
it would-
no, it wouldn't just be Manhattan. It would be Williamsburg. It'd be Queens. It'd be all the way upstate. It would be
it'd be
Connecticut, Jersey.
Like if they drop this bomb in
Well,
Westview, New Jersey, if it's the
Well,
real
that's
Westview, like yeah, if they just drop a nuke
Mhm.
to go, do they think can vibranium survive nuclear attack?
At this
I,
point.
I would believe so, honestly.
It could be
I
a
was
mini nuke.
curious if we had ever been like
Ant
that.
Man nuke.
Yeah,
I mean, like New Jersey's weird enough. I don't think radiation's gonna change much.
but where
Says Ben
Westview
Pukes
is,
talking nukes.
but
An Ant Man nuke.
Moving on.
everything. I just don't-
And that, I mean, like the thing Monica got in, I was getting very heavy, and like the suit she wore and the vehicle she was in, I looked it up afterwards. It's not 100% the same design, but I was getting a lot of like Ant-Man 2 vibes from when Hank's in that thing in the quantum realm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I can see it.
I was getting Fantastic Four vibes. I'm like,
I was
Reed
as well.
Richards is sitting in
Yeah,
this thing.
she's
like,
also
2 days
literally an
ago.
astronaut.
When
so-
she got stuck, I was like, ooh, this is some Fantastic Four vibes of
Mhm.
like, this is how they're gonna get it.
But then
Initially,
she
I was
jumps
like,
out.
she's attaching oxygen to it. She got the big like bulbous helmet. I was like, she looks like a motherfucking astronaut. And then I was like, oh yeah, she is. Like, oh
Then-
right, of course that would be the first thing. She's like, you know what? Bring me my spacesuit. I'm going in.
The fact that they
Then she just
like,
jumps out and goes full
mixed
badass.
it or like split that in half, where it's like half just regular pickup truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great visual
And-
effects.
I also love the relationship developing between Monica and Jimmy Woo. I don't mean in like a romantic
yes.
way, but just like the friendship that is developing there. I'm like, this is precious.
I
Like
just love Jimmy Woo.
taking control. Like he has taken control of these people he controls. Like
Jimmy Woo has become a like idol on TikTok where people be like, "Oh, I watch," like they'll find anything Randall Park is in, and I'll just use like The Office for example. Like, I watch The Office because of its comedy, and then they go J.K. Jimmy Woo, and it'll show like the one scene that like Randall Park's in, and I've seen it
Love
with
it.
so many different things.
I love that they're all. This is my issue with that is that they're all using things he guest starred in, not the show he wrote and.
That's the
starred in
point, because
years.
if, Fresh on the Boat is like, okay, well that's he's in it
Fresh
all the time. They're only trying to use the ones where he like makes a quick appearance.
I'm just saying, like, put some respect on that man's name. He's incredibly talented.
I saw a request for him to become like the new Coulson and have him just be up here like everywhere all over the MCU. And like, yeah, I can get behind that.
That'd be cool,
Like, that's
yeah.
a great idea.
I'd be down.
I like it.
But then we're gonna like, explain what happened to Coulson to anyone.
Agents of Shield.
Agents
Oh,
of
you
I
mean-
know. Yeah, I know. But do the people in Shield or in like Iron Man and he's dead, but the Avengers and all those people, do they know that Coulson's alive? Is that ever established ever?
Nope.
I mean, the only ones that are around that, or at least as far as the Avengers that interact with the Coulson now, are just Hulk and Thor, right?
In
It's just so weird.
Shield, they established that they're not telling anyone. That like his team knows, but nobody else does. And I don't want to spoil Agents of Shield. Never mind.
I've seen up to like the last 2 seasons, but that just seems convenient. Like it doesn't seem smart. It doesn't seem
that was
like well written. It just seems convenient.
That was their way of
And also,
not
it
crossing
doesn't matter.
over. That was their way
Yeah.
of not crossing back over with the movies.
Which I
Yeah.
think is
Yeah.
again part of the allure of all of these new MCU shows that are coming out. Is like, yes, these actually like legitimately cross over with the shows and don't just kind of reference like the event in New York like every now and then, you
Mhm.
know.
And at the end of the day, something happens in Agents of Shield that I won't go into. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that nobody knows what happened to him. There's a reason why it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter for like just where the MCU is going. It doesn't matter.
So,
Go
He's in
down.
the best.
so we know we have 2 episodes left.
Hmm.
We know there has to be some more of a big reveal. Paul Bettany has came out and said that Evan Peters was not the actor that he was referring to when he said there is an actor that I really enjoyed working with. And Wanda said there's like or Elizabeth Olsen said there's like a giant appearance. Something popped into my head a little while ago that I forgot. Just came back.
Hugh Jackman.
No, because we said the TVA. I mean, it could be Hugh Jackman. That would be fucking insane.
Just saying.
Because we know the TVA monitors Nexus beings. Do you have Paul Bettany and Tom Hiddleston ever worked together?
Not to my knowledge.
I mean, they were both technically in Infinity War, but not
Yeah, one at the very
Endgame.
beginning, one at the very end.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were the two deaths that sandwiched the movie.
yeah.
Great.
I'm looking
I'm
it
just
up.
saying, like because we
Yeah.
know it's connected. I
Good-
wouldn't be surprised
idea.
if Loki's the guy who makes the appearance.
But then
Or just Owen Wilson, because he's apparently in that show and he
Oh,
looks so
yeah.
weird.
Wilson.
Yeah, but would anybody get excited about it?
I would.
I mean, I was excited. I
I
was
would-
excited
I
to
love
see him.
Wilson.
I was
Yeah.
excited to see him in the trailer.
Yeah.
But level of Luke Skywalker appearing in The Mandalorian.
that's true.
Hey,
Either
that's
Elizabeth
true.
Olsen sucks at describing things, or it's somebody bigger than that.
Hey, you need to
I'm
put some
trying to
respect on
get
Lightning
my
McQueen's
hopes up.
name.
I think getting Evan Peters was enough for me.
Oh,
That's
for
who
sure.
voices Lightning McQueen.
Yeah,
Isn't it Owen
Yeah.
Wilson? Okay,
yeah.
good.
He even goes "wow" in the movie.
Wow.
Wow.
I've never seen Cars. Is like one of the few Pixar films I've
Oh,
never
okay.
seen.
It's
Charlie
fine,
I don't
honestly.
get it.
It's pretty.
It's
I
Owen
would still
Wilson.
First
I would
one's
watch
good.
I like it. I like it,
First
but
one's
like I don't
good.
think you're
At
missing
least.
anything.
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, you
I've
don't
seen
watch
the
any
other
of the
two.
others.
Nah.
Yeah, watch first Cars. But I mean,
The
yeah, I
trailer-
think it would be interesting.
The
if
trailer
they,
for Cars 3 made me really
The
wanna
trailer
watch
for
Cars
3
3.
is hype.
it's really good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Three also not a terrible movie. It's not as good as the first one, but I mean,
Two,
regardless,
two is like the real bad one.
it would be crazy if they, rather than setting up something for a movie, they actually just be like, no, we're setting up the fucking like Loki TV show or something like that. I think that would be
Mhm.
a cool twist, because I mean, I think everyone's coming out of this like, and I mean, there's obviously parts of it that are going to lead into Doctor Strange, but I think it would be cool. It's like, hey, there's something that's going to be relevant to these other Disney Plus series as well.
Yeah.
So I just looked it up. They haven't worked together, but Tom Hiddleston keeps joking about how much he wished he could have been on WandaVision. Like there are all these interviews where he's like, "Why does Paul Bentley get to be in WandaVision? Why can't I be in WandaVision?
He gets his own
Right.
show.
I
He
just
can
Yeah,
go
need
find
to be that
that's
character. I don't get to be that character anymore."
that's
Paul
that's,
Bentley.
that's a misdirection maybe.
What did I just
That's what I
say?
was thinking. As soon as she brought it up, I was like,
Yep.
seems like an MCU tactic.
I really think at this point it's because we know, like they've been saying it for months, that like it connects to Doctor Strange somehow. We've seen nothing connecting it to Doctor Strange
That's
at this
true.
point.
I
I feel
think
like
Doctor Strange is going to drop in the last
Loki-
episode.
I really think we were talking about
Mhm.
it last week. I know we lost that footage, but we were talking about, I think it was Austin said it, where he was like, why hasn't anybody just called someone? Just anyone else.
The man's
Doctor
an ER
Strange
doctor. He
is-
owns a pager, right?
And it's just he's the sorcerer supreme.
That too.
And
that
if
too.
I
if
just
it's
I
all
really
magical, like he should be able to like sense something's up. Like
Well,
and he's
well,
right
and
there.
I think the reveal of Agatha Harkness might be the catalyst for that, where it's like, hey, something magical is going on that affects multiple realms. Here
Mhm.
comes Doctor Strange.
Well,
I
I
would-
also noticed no one in Sword proper or the people that defected are paying attention to the broadcast.
Well, okay, they
said it's
put that,
offline.
out in
It's
this
dead air.
episode. They
There's
said that the
nothing
signal's dead. They said the signal's dead, which I do want to point out, though, is that in the 2000s, they actually switched from analog to digital signals.
Right.
And they might just not be looking for the same one.
Yeah.
That's cool. I was just gonna say, how dope would it be if like they just show a scene where like Doctor Strange is like incapacitated and just like Agnes has him.
No way.
But-
Or he's just gonna come in and Luke Skywalker it and just destroy
Yeah.
everything. He's like,
That's more
"Motherfucker, I'm
likely.
Doctor
Tear a hole
Strange."
through the hex.
That's more likely, but I
Yeah.
think it'd be like what a power play that would be. Like, oh,
That'd be
Doctor
wild
Strange,
if they show
Doctor
that.
Strange will save us, and she's like,
Doctor Strange.
He's dangling upside down above a tub of acid.
he's just like, hey, what's up? How long
It's
you been
a
here?
She's a witch.
First time.
Yeah, Leigh'rin.
I feel like it's got to be Doctor Strange just because with Agatha and like the implications of her in the comics and everything else, now that she is confirmed to be Agatha Hartwright, like it just makes sense that like Doctor Strange may know about her already. It may be this situation where they don't know where she went, and like again, like he's the Sorcerer Supreme, like he knows everything that's going on in theory. We didn't see everything that him or the Ancient One saw and like got trained and like learned about. We don't know everything that he knows yet.
So I can't remember. Okay, go ahead.
This happens every day, just a normal conversation. So it would make sense that it's like, oh, I was in New York. All of a sudden, this shit is happening in Jersey. It's somebody we've been looking for years. Sword doesn't know. We know Doctor Strange doesn't think anybody knows what they're doing besides him. Like, that he's like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm going to go in. We're going to wreck some shit. I'm going to keep this idiot from dropping nukes on New Jersey. And, you know.
Also, is it Jimmy Woo still missing a person?
Yeah.
What?
No, Jimmy Woo's supposed to be looking for a witness protection that's inside the original
And they've
hex.
barely talked about it since then. And
That's
I
true.
don't think it's that. I don't think it's that important. I think that was just a way to
I do.
get him.
No, I think it's important. It's got to be.
I thought it was Agatha.
Do we think it's
It's Ralph.
Dottie?
It's Ralph. It's fucking
Oh
Ralph.
yeah, it's Ralph. I remember. Yeah, I can get behind that
Yeah.
too.
Because Dottie reappeared in this episode too.
Yeah.
Did she?
We've seen her up when she throws Monica up in the air.
She was just one of those people.
And it cuts to her. She's sniffing a rose, and she leans up. She stands up to.
Oh, I didn't realize that was her.
I didn't realize that either.
When Monica lands and you just see, sorry, I'm just tangenting again. When Monica lands and you just see the confidence, where she's like, "Oh shit, I might have a chance. All right, let's go."
I was hoping to see a fight this episode, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That's so bad. Can we talk about what the fuck Evan Peters is wearing?
What was his line?
Snooper's gonna snoop.
Da-da-da-da-da. It's the motherfucking Evan Peters.
Which also feels a little meta because we've all kind of been scrubbing these these credits, like waiting for an end credit scene. Like, come on, there's got to be something else, right? Like we're snooping through them, and then finally they're like, "Aha, I got you."
Yep.
Love it.
Drug dealer that hung out in my local high school. Like, what are you wearing? What happened to you after she threw you into a hay bale?
It's the 2000s, man.
He doesn't need to keep up the act anymore.
I
That's
thought you were
true.
just giving like you were directly talking to a drug dealer outside. Like you're like, person listening
What
to this
happened to
clearly,
you?
are you okay?
Don't be this person. Make better life choices. No, sell drugs. It's better. You don't have
Okay.
to pay taxes.
All right.
Weed's legal now, so there's no money in it. You gotta sell coke to
everywhere.
make a living nowadays.
It's true.
Not everywhere. It's not legal everywhere.
It's not illegal where I'm at.
Not legal where I'm at.
It's not legal where Jordan is.
But it's still true that like it's not as profitable as it used to be in terms of illegal selling.
No, Jordan's just like, wait, what? Hold
I
up.
was like, what do you mean?
I've got some splaining to do.
SWAT. Boom.
I'm just saying, when I lived in New York, I paid $40 for a car. Living here, I paid $25. Like, I think it's still lucrative in places where it's not legal.
Brett, what are you looking forward to the next episode?
What Hayward's up to, man? Because he's probably gonna. If I had to guess, he's probably next episode is gonna be like the climax, and then the last episode will kind of be like the addendum, kind of like everything settling, and also looking forward to the future of Wanda, Monica, anybody who else shows up, Vision, that kind of stuff. So I think next episode is going to be like the massive like battle, or like like a fight or something.
I agree. Yeah, I think we will. If we don't see it come to fruition on what Commander Asshole's doing, I always forget his name. Then it will definitely be. Yeah, that will be dope. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I want to see her in action.
I do want to hear more about like the entire goal behind making Vision a weapon. I don't know why that interests me so much, but
Feeling we're gonna see more of it in Armor Wars and in Secret Invasion when Fury's
point.
back. Just because like it feels like it fits in Armor Wars because that's the whole premise is Tony's tech being used for bad things.
Mm-hmm.
What if they reveal that Hayward's actually been working for Justin Hammer this whole
Is
time?
that Justin Hammer's music?
I want Justin Hammer
God,
back.
start dancing.
Like the little beat thing he does.
damn it.
I think Secret Invasion is going to tie into Captain Marvel too. Not this.
I know I just went on a whole tirade about how Doctor Strange is probably going to be that loot entrance. What if it's Carol?
Yeah, that definitely could.
Honestly, I think It could be.
Could
She
be.
could just punch her way through the hex.
I feel like it makes more sense for it to be Doctor Strange, but that's exactly why the MCU would be like, nah,
Somebody else.
Carol.
The MCU is
Or
good at subverting expectations sometimes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
and so they bring in Mr. Fantastic, but it's the Miles Teller version from it.
Oh my god.
So
It's
I gotta go. I'll let you. You can talk after I leave. I promise. I'm sorry, but I just want to see Photon beat some ass. That's what I want to do,
Yeah,
and
same.
Yes.
preferably Ralph's ass. I want to see who Ralph is. If that's the mailman, if it's not the mailman, I don't know. But
I think it's a pretty good point to cut anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that mailman is always hanging around too. Like I know, like
What's up
that's
with the
his job.
mailman? Why is he always giving eyes to Agatha? I don't get it.
Yeah,
He's
he's
fucking the mailman.
He's only
You either fuck the
allowed.
mailman or the milkman.
Oh yeah.
I
So
forgot
And we're
about
not in
that.
the 50s anymore, so there's no
I'm
more
gonna-
milkmen.
I'm gonna go now, but there's a missing child thing on the milk carton. So you guys, you can use that if you want, or just not talk about it at all.
I think that was related to
time thing,
us
because that's
finding
not a
out
thing
that
anymore.
Wanda put all the kids back to sleep. Like,
Okay.
or her own
And-
kids.
And
Yeah.
Tommy and Billy are missing, and that was just a thing in the 80s where we slapped kids on milk cartons. And, hey, look for
You
him.
meant kids going missing. That was just a thing.
it just
That
happened all
also
the
was
time.
a
That
big
also was
thing
a
in
thing.
the 80s.
Okay.
The 80s was a bad time.
I gotta go. So love y'all.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Austin.
Bye.
Yeah.
Before we cut, actually, could we talk a bit about how Billy looked at Agatha and said, "You're quiet"?
Well, I think
I think-
that was a build up to
I know. I mean, yeah. Now
the
we know. who
reveal
cares, but-
where she's like he specifically says he's like, you're like mom, you're quiet, and it's
Unlike.
it's just
I think
ending
it was
as like, hey,
He
unlike.
said,
she's a
he
witch.
said, "You're unlike mom," because he said to Wanda he hears a lot of
yeah.
things.
I think it's just like
think it's also like she was kind of like suppressing herself the whole time though too, like hiding the fact
Yeah.
that she's who she is. Like,
yeah, you know how like in Harry Potter, legitimacy or whatever the fuck it's called is super easy on some people because they can't
Mhm.
control it. Thank you. It's super good on some people because they can't control it, but like doesn't work on people like Snape because they practiced at it. That's all I really think it is that it was a hint at Agatha's a bad person because she can hide everything from this kid because he's also 10. Like how powerful can he be? You know?
shout out to the line though again where she's like, what am I gonna tell a 10-year-old that her mother is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Like,
Oh my
I
god,
also
her. I just want to say her talking heads, chef's kiss.
no.
impeccable.
I love he's having this deep moment with her where he's like, "You're quiet. It's nice. Like no one's, my head doesn't feel like it's about to fall off." And fucking the jock over here, fast speedster boy goes, "What's wrong with her, mom?" They're having a moment. Can you let them have the moment here?
There's always one of those siblings that's just like not even realizing.
Just can't read a room at all.
No
No.
brain, only vibes.
Yeah.
Truly. And Speed kind of is no brain, only vibes.
Tommy's my favorite himbo.
All right,
Anybody
got
else
it.
have any final thoughts?
It's over. Great episode. Really
Great
looking forward to the next one. As far as like something I'd like to see, I mean, I'm really looking forward to hopefully next episode seeing kind of like Agatha's MO. Like I really want to know what her end game is, what she's doing, and why she's doing it.
Yeah, real quick. Feige was quoted. I think that one Investor Day, like not the recent one, but like that the Fantastic Four would show up before X-Men.
Oh.
Who
Ju-
would
ju-
that?
So I think just going to like if there's like a big reveal like Luke Skywalker kind of like literally like that where
What if it's
somebody-
all four of them?
yeah
cool.
or like I just
Or
think
just the thing. Can you imagine if they're like just the thing? That's all you get.
I'd say
I
be
would.
happy.
I mean, I assumed from the beginning, the second I knew Disney was buying Fox, I basically went, "Oh, we're getting the Fantastic Four first," even though everybody was focused on X-Men, and it's because the Fantastic Four movies weren't that good at all, whereas the X-Men movies had some good ones, and the series had a lot more of an emotional attachment to people because it went on for so long.
It's
And
also
I
the
think,
first.
yeah, so I think Marvel would rather distance themselves from the X-Men, and in the meantime, do their Phase 4, introduce a legitimately good Fantastic Four, and then after we're far away from the X-Men, be like, now we're going to bring them in.
Well, I think they also have to establish a good reason for why there are suddenly mutants when there weren't for such a long time.
Yeah. And like Sophie Turner had said in an interview that like basically when the Disney merger started getting hinted at, Fox was like, we know you have contracts for more movies. We don't know what's happening with them yet. It's not that you're never playing these characters again. We don't know what's happening with your characters.
Ye-
Which I found very interesting because usually Disney's just like, nah, get the fuck out.
Mhm.
Also,
one
Paul Bettany and John Krasinski have not worked together, so
That's a good point. That's a
There we
good
go.
point.
one thing I would just thought of is that Deadpool is going to be coming out, so maybe they will get to the X-Men a bit sooner than expected.
Yeah, Deadpool was like the one that they were straight up like, oh no, we're keeping him, we're keeping it R, because that is the one that has been most successful. Like, we got you guys.
And Ryan Reynolds did say that Deadpool 3 is in the MCU.
Yep.
Has
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds worked with Paul Bettany?
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. Because because if you think about it, they in the other Deadpool movies, they haven't had him have his like teleportation, so
True.
his ability.
Mm.
So
He just teleports through the hex. If the Luke Skywalker cameo is fucking Deadpool, I'm gonna be both pissed off and so happy.
What if they copy it like shot for shot, where it's like him with a hood on, and he has like a sword, and he's like chopping up.
And you just see like one gloved red hand and a katana instead of a lightsaber.
it would be all the cancer.
Dude, I kind of want that right now. Actually, I kind of want that. That's actually really cool.
That'd be fucking amazing if it was just we're all sitting here like, oh, it's got to be Reed Richards or Doctor Strange, and it's just motherfucking Deadpool.
Oh my god.
He just lifts his mask up. Didn't see that coming.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. That'd be incredible.
He lifts his mask up and it's like a stapled magazine photo, like what he did with Hugh Jackman in the first Deadpool, but of John Krasinski.
Oh my god.
Or Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Need
Amazing.
to
I love it.
MCU just to see Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, have the relationship with Tom Holland's Spider-Man that Deadpool and Spider-Man have in the comics.
I want that.
I want it so bad. Just because it's
He doesn't have Iron Man anymore. So
He doesn't have Iron Man to be like, nope, we're gonna go here now.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh god. That's who his new mentor is gonna be, and it's gonna go very, very bad.
Great adventures though.
Fantastic adventures. Alrighty. Anybody have any final closing thoughts?
Bring me the fights.
Yeah. On that note, we will see you guys next week for episode 8. And everybody's socials can be found in the description down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter at Waypoint Podcast. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.